And we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Dmitry Kornyukhov. I'm your host. Joining me today, my incredible co-host, Elena Tereshnikova. Hi, Elena.
Hello, everyone.
And our guest, Aurélie Perrin, an English-French translator and video game localization specialist. Hi, Aurélie.
Hi, guys.
Translators on Air is the first live talk show for translators and interpreters, where Yelena and I invite very interesting people of our profession, and we discuss a variety of topics. And today we will be talking about mentoring for translators. But before we jump to our conversation, I would like to remind all of our viewers that the second season of Translators on Air has been sponsored by our friends at Smercat. Smercat develops translation technology for translators, and they offer it absolutely for free. So if you're watching this live, there's a button below that says Smercat. Go check out their website to see what they have to offer. Or if you're watching this in the recording, just click the first link in the description of this video. All right, Aurélie, how are you? How's it going?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. That's nice, and I didn't expect it, so kind of.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, what languages you work with, and in what field of expertise do you have?
Yeah, so I'm an English to French translator. I specialize in video game, app, and website localization, and my main fields are gaming, IT, multimedia, and new technologies. So, and I'm also a new member of the Indie Localizers team too. So, hi to everyone that's watching me right now, and yep, that's it.
Awesome. So how did you get into the translation field? You shared in your biography that you have quite an experience working in various areas, and somehow you ended up in translation of video games. Can you tell us a little bit more about this?
Yeah, so at first when I did my BA at university, I really didn't want to be a translator. Too much responsibility on the end text. So yeah, I thought it was not for me. So I decided to go away in Australia to travel and get some experience. So I wanted to enter the video game industry as a 3D artist. And instead I just finished like a commercial assistant and marketing assistant in France. And that was quite an experience anyway. I learned a lot, and I learned a lot about running a business in a way, because it was a very small company. We were like 15 people on site. So we kind of knew each other very well. And after 3 years and a time on the road that was about 3 hours back and forth, so 200 kilometers per day, I decided it was enough, and I quit to start as a webmaster because I wanted to do websites. I did an internship that turned out very well, but it wasn't for me. And by talking with a friend that tried to be a freelance translator but gave up, I got decided to, because I didn't know about localization. In uni, we learned about medical translation and international trade. That's where the two options we were offered at the time. So it was quite new, and I thought that would be great to help people translate WordPress websites, the themes, the plugins, and the website itself. So that's how it started, and then I've looked on the internet and found about games and apps, and that's why I decided to go that way.
Great story, very interesting. But let's dive into our topic today, which is mentoring for translators. We have a small poll here, and 6 people who took part in it don't have mentors. But we also have quite a lot of people watching us. So that means that it's a topic that is interesting to people. So since few people have mentors here from our viewers, I think, could you please start by telling what is mentoring and who is a mentor?
Right, so mentoring. To sum up, I could say it's like a bit like coaching. It's one-on-one relationships in a way, because you are with one person only that talks to you only, you're not in a group. And the point of mentoring is helping you move forward with your business and achieve some goals. So, and it's kind someone, an expert, if you can say, or a colleague that just give you tips and share their experience to help you succeed as well. That's it, like this.
And why did you decide to find a mentor?
Well, after maybe a short time, maybe, but after 1 year in the business, I didn't really succeed to do only video game localization, or mostly video game localization. I was still stuck with IT manuals or everything, but nothing very fun. So I had this idea about a mentor, and actually it started after reading a post from Sarah, who's on the OpenMic too, but on her personal blog, where she made kind of a summary of her first year as a translator. And she had a paragraph where she said that she had a mentor and she really enjoyed the experience. So that was the start. And then it happened on the OpenMic this time. It's a post about Tristan Goodwin. He posted a blog post about the trends for video games in 2016. And I checked his website, and I think on a page, about page or something, I found something saying that he was a mentor actually for translators. So that was the second occurrence about the word mentor. And I said, okay, I have to give it a go, because I wanted to move forward. And I wanted to do it for video games. So that's the next part a bit of why I choose Tristan Goodwin and not another translator to help me.
So are there any other places where you could look for a mentor? What would you recommend to someone who wants to find one? Where to look for?
Well, the first place, I think it's on Prose. They have a section, but I don't know if it's really updated quite often. And I had a look, but I didn't find, I think there were at least 1 or 2 people with my language pair, but no one in the field I wanted to specialize in. So I kind of gave up.
May I interrupt you here? Yeah. So when you chose a mentor, you specifically looked for someone working in your language pair and in the specialization which you wanted to pursue, right?
Yeah, that was the idea, to look for something specific, because I wanted someone who understands what I'm going through, because at home I feel a bit hopeless. I'm the only one. So I thought that someone who's working in the same language pair, even if it was French to English, that doesn't matter. And I really wanted to enter the video game industry. So I thought that someone specialized in video game would be best to help me than someone specialized in financial stuff.
Yeah.
So that was the point. So then the next place, it could be the Translator Association, if you're part of one. For my part, I belong to the SFT, French Translator Association. And they do not say explicitly that they do mentoring. So I think you just have to ask people for it. Then you can try to look on Google. I don't remember if I did that, but I think you can try to tap mentor plus translator or something. Or you can also ask famous translators among us that you can see on Twitter and send them a message explaining why you want them to help you. For example, could be because of your language pair, your specialization, or because you like what they do, or you have other goals. That's another point to see, to define what are your goals with mentoring. What do you want from it? So that's basically the places I can think of. Maybe there's other websites, but I don't know them.
So how do you choose a mentor? Is it just only based on your language pairs or only on your field of expertise?
I think those two are the main conditions, I can say.
Mm-hmm.
It's easier to have someone with your language pair, and it's even easier if it's the industry you want to enter, because they can help you, they can vouch for you if you ask agencies, they can give you contact names or something, and they know the field, so they know the traps you have to avoid, and they know some tips that you won't find on the internet. So that's the main reasons. After that, you can look for mentors for something else. Maybe you want to mentor about marketing. That could be a starting point. Just to something specific, like looking for prospects, could be another idea. So that's why you have to define your goals and what you want from it. What do you want? If you want to just specialize in an industry to get better or something. And we all have mentors, even if we don't know it, if I can say. Because my first mentor actually was the guy I did my internship with as a webmaster. I did a 1 month internship with him, and he taught me a lot about making websites and about running a business as a single person. So he was actually my first mentor, and that's a bit thanks to him that I decided to go freelance. Otherwise, I would have just looked for in-house positions or maybe just another job as an employee and not as a freelancer. So he was my first mentor. And then second mentor was someone I get along with. So I started with kind of business incubator where they help you grow your business, and you have sessions with a counselor, if I can say, and this person helps you about marketing and everything, looking for prospects, something. And if they understand what you do or have good ideas, that's kind of great. This person really helped me because she was not in the translation industry. She has no idea what it was, but she has another point of view, and she helped me find ideas and stuff like this.
We have a lot of students watching our show every now and then. Do you think a university teacher could be a mentor too?
Depends how much they work in the university. I hope Will is not watching me right now. I don't say they don't work a lot, but it's not the same schedule. But maybe a teacher when you're a student, yeah, if you kind of get along with the teacher and they have time and they're willing to help you further, that could be a good starting point to do this. I think it's something you can do in the last stages. I don't know it's anywhere else, but in France we have first 3 years, which is the BA, and then you have the master, it's about 2 years, and then you have what we call doctorat, which is 3 more years until the end. And at this point you have a thesis or something. So that's where you have kind of a mentor or a tutor that can help you. But yeah, as a student could be great. Anyway, university is the first place when you build your network if you want to go in the translation industry.
I ask because this is a very good starting point for people who are just starting out and want to get into this profession, because you already know these people. I mean, your teachers and tutors. And my first job, actually, I was referred by my teacher at my university. So I got my first interpreting gig because he recommended me. He knew I was a good student. He knew I was really interested into going all the way. And he recommended me for an interpreting gig that lasted for 6 months, I believe. I had to travel to a different city, and we worked on a big agricultural complex. So yeah, I think for students, this could be a really good starting point if you just ask your teachers for more information about the industry. Because when I was studying, we didn't have classes about marketing or real life experiences or how to find a job. But teachers actually, they do work as translators sometimes, and they can give you that experience. So I think that's very good. starting
So I
point
think
for young
the
professionals.
The important point here is that the teacher should have some practical experience working as a translator, because a lot of teachers, they are perfect at what they do. I mean, teaching, but not all of them are also good in terms of, for example, they could also work as translators, but they can be not that good at, for example, marketing their services. I'm now thinking about the Russian teachers at universities, and I think it would be a bit problematic for Russian students to do that. Probably it's different in Europe, though. Aurélie, you mentioned another point that I wanted to go a bit deeper into, and that's that you should get along with your mentor. So is it important? Is it then another criteria for choosing a mentor, whether you click with the person or not?
Yeah, I think so, because you're going to work with that person. So, and it's you and the mentor. There is no a group where you can hide inside. I'm talking from an introvert point of view, when you hide in the middle of a group. So and actually, and especially when you're an introvert, it's a big step to ask someone for help, and there is only you. So all your mistakes, everything bad you think you have, will come up. So it's really important that you get along with the person. If you don't, it will reflect on the relationship and on everything afterward. So very, very important. So you should maybe schedule a Skype call first, exchange emails.
So based on your experience, what is it like working with a mentor? What does it feel like? What does it look like? Is there a schedule, something like that?
I think it's different for everyone. Depends where you are starting from. If you're really beginning, maybe you will cover all the basics. And if you're like me, I was already a year in the business. I was starting to get more jobs. So not a good, building a very strong reputation, but something. So, and I'm kind of I read a lot of blogs, so I knew a lot of things, and I have already all the basics. But then it depends also on the mentor. Maybe they want to do it with a schedule they send you, exercises, for example, or just you just schedule a time once a week to twice a week, and you have a chat on Skype and discuss some point you want to talk about, exchange emails or something. For my part, it was a weekly Skype call with a goal for the session, and try to work on some points. So I got tips on where to start to build a portfolio, for example, specific to video games. We were both kind of into SEO, so we worked on that part too, because that's a point we discussed and found that as translators, we don't have a lot of visibility on the internet. Between agencies and dictionaries, it's very hard to be visible as a freelancer, especially in French. If you type translation, translator, it's always the dictionaries that come up first.
Same in Russia.
So very hard. And we had some fun making a little video for myself to rank on YouTube, because he was also testing his SEO techniques on it. So that was nice. And actually it went well, because I ended up on the first page on Google in a few hours. So very great. And that's awesome. And SEO is something that I'm working on too as a website translator, because with automatic translation, it's really getting hard to get some real translation jobs. So you have to look somewhere else to find opportunities. So SEO is one of them. So, and we were doing SEO because he was on a sabbatical to do SEO stuff and stop translating a bit. So that explains it. And then as for the schedule or something, that's pretty much, it really depends on the person, on what you want to do, what are your goals, everything else.
Thank you, Aurélie. This is actually was a question from one of the viewers about the relationship with their mentor. I'd like to say hi, Christine, if you're watching this, and thank you so much for your question. I hope it answers it. And I also would like to remind all of our viewers who are watching us right now that you guys can actually ask questions if you have questions about the mentoring or anything else. There is an orange button that says ask a question or suggest a topic. You can just type your question and we'll try to answer it. You were talking about visibility for translators, and I remembered a very funny story. So I also have a website at bestrussiantranslator.com, my professional website. There I promote my professional services, and it also competes with dictionaries or Google Translate, as it seems. Because on my website, I have added a possibility for my visitors to chat with me. So there is a small, tiny chat window that comes up when somebody visits my website, and they can send me a message. And if I'm online, I can reply. And a lot of times, people who are ending up on my website, they were probably looking for a dictionary or something like that. And I received some messages that says, hey, how can I translate this word? Or how do you say my name in Russian? Something like that. Instead of real potential clients with huge projects, I compete with people who are looking for online dictionary.
Yeah, people tend to mistake us for dictionaries. Anyway, they always ask, do you know this word and this word?
Yeah.
And since you speak English, you should know all those words that I don't know. And I'm just like, okay, no, that doesn't work like this.
Well, that sounds familiar.
Good. Something went funny with the connection, so.
Yeah, some languages. Yeah. So, in your opinion, what are the main benefits of having a mentor?
Well, first, it gives you the holy reference, if I can say, because I don't know about you, but when I started, I had to apply to a lot of agencies, and more often than not, there is a section where you have to put at least 3 references. And actually, when I started, I didn't know anyone from this, and the people I worked with, I didn't do any translation, something, so they were not really qualified references anyway. So that means that I ended up putting agencies aside for when I do have references for work. So that was quite hard at the beginning. So that's one of the main benefits, especially if you work in the same language pair, which is not the case for me with Tristan because he's working from Spanish to English, US English, in Latin America for Spanish. So it's harder to have work because sometimes a mentor can send you work that you translate and then you send back to them for proofreading, and they can assess your work and tell you where are your weaknesses and everything. So that's why it's great to have a mentor in the same language pair than you, so you can have this, especially when you start, because that helps you get better, and obviously for the reference too. And I forgot what I wanted to say. It's all right.
You're talking about the advantages of having a mentor. The first one is that you might get some work from them and references when you need them.
Yeah, and then obviously you have someone you can talk to that will understand what you are going through. Because if I talk to my partner about my business, it would just look at me with big eyes and say, I don't understand anything. So that's great to have someone to talk to, actually, because we are kind of lonely and we speak through Twitter, through Facebook, through emails. So yeah, that's another benefit. And then you can learn from their experience, obviously, because they will give you a ton of advice and maybe contacts. I think he gave me some agency names that were quite nice to work with, so I could apply to them too. He gave me a lot of tips about how to contact developers and how to build also the portfolio, which is kind of nice to have one, because with agencies you have the famous NDA that prevents you from giving names or something. So you can find a way around. I did it with my own portfolio. I've put some stuff. I just say, hey, here's the type of game I translated. but I don't say which one.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. It helps you also build your network with a mentor, because sometimes they can give you contact names from other translators or something, or give your name to someone else too, and people will contact you afterward. So it's mainly this. Mainly, main benefit is getting work from them and getting help, advice, and that obviously should help you to move forward if you get along with the person or something.
How long have you been working with your mentor?
The real mentor stuff was about 3 months, more or less, with the weekly schedule. And then we just slow down and just exchange to Facebooks when we have questions or something. We keep in touch anyway, but it's less frequent because I don't need that much help anymore. And I'm trying to still apply what I learned with him. So you need some time to see the results anyway. So I just keep in touch, give him updates on what I've been doing, the results I got. And we talk about, because we also have some projects that are quite interesting and he wants me to be part of it. So I will be happy to help anyway. So that's it. First, you have the intense period and you really work on your project, on what you want to do. And then you have this period where it's more, I would say it's more a colleague than a mentor. And you can just keep in touch and keep every updated about what's going on. And if you need help anyway, you can still fire an email, send a message to Facebook, through Skype, and ask your question, ask to schedule a call, something. So that's your...
Do I get you right? Have you got, did you get some, considerable results only after 3 months of working with a mentor, right?
I did, because first it helped me to keep going with the video game part, because I reached the point where I wasn't sure I would be able to make it, because on Facebook I see those people who succeed, and me, I'm just stuck with my IT manuals or something. So that was frustrating. So now I'm getting more stuff for video games. That really helped me a lot. And then I wasn't sure about Facebook, to use it as a professional profile, and I follow his advice to join many groups on Facebook, and that actually helped me, because I found the indie localizers team through Facebook, and so now I'm really involved in the project, and I really hope that would help me. So it's a consequence, if I can say, about this mentoring. Joining those Facebook groups, getting a foot in the video game part, learning more about developers and their crazy world, and meeting other people and creating a group of freelancers, like-minded people. So that was one of the big benefits.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it was a great idea that you guys have united into a group of freelance translators. And I think a few of your teammates here with us today. I clearly see Artyom. I think Sandrine is also in the team. Yeah. So you can say hi to all those people who are working with you as a team.
Hi, guys.
I think it's a great idea that translators unite to these collaborative kind of companies that work directly with developers. I think it's an awesome opportunity for all of you guys. So
yeah, and it's great because and it's great because now I can contact people in France, because I live in France. So, and my clients are supposedly based outside France. So to contact them, it's only contacting or meeting at events or something. So now with this group that helped me, I got in touch with at least 4 companies that are interested in localization for their website. So I know I can act as a PM and refer colleagues to work in other language pairs. So that's kind of great, and that helped me get something bigger as being a freelancer than just doing English to French. I can do French to other languages, but I'm not translating. It's colleagues that will do it. And yeah, it's another dimension, if I can say.
Yeah. So now the dimension, I think it's the most logical career step, if you can say, when you talk about freelance. I think it's the most logical development area.
Yeah.
The next logical step will be building your own agency, but that's a lot of work and a lot of overhead. But working as a team, as a small team, I think it's a great start.
Yeah, I think so.
We have a very interesting question from Christina. Christina asks, how are mentoring costs calculated?
Well, that depends on the mentor, I think. He's the one who decides the rates. So it depends how much time you also decide to dedicate to this every week, every month, or whatever. And then they give you, it's like the translation business when you give your rates to your clients. I think it works that way. And then if you want to calculate, think maybe hourly rates and decide how much time it will take you not only to have the scheduled call, but maybe to prepare documents before, prepare exercises if you do exercises or anything else. Everything that you need to prepare first should count, I think. I don't really have experience as a mentor myself, or I do it, but for my mother, so that doesn't count. But I'm helping her with her business.
Is your mother a translator as well?
No, she is a Reiki practitioner, and I help her build her business with my webmaster skills and my web marketing little experience, if I can say. I'm not so good at the moment, web marketing. So, but then, yeah, if you go into mentoring as a mentor, yeah, think early rates and what it will take you to prepare everything. And then maybe ask other mentors how much they charge. Could give you an idea. And maybe check, like I talked about coaching before, maybe look with coaches, how they proceed. That can give you an idea too, I think.
Do you think mentoring can be free?
It can, but it depends the involvement. If you really want something every week, you have to know that the mentor has to make time for it too. So the person has to schedule their days for you. So if they can do it for free, that's great. I think free mentoring could be like just asking questions from time to time and the mentor answer you. But there is not always a call, not always a strong follow-up or something. Free could be just little questions and things that don't take much time, like giving some advice on a specific point.
Probably the rule you get what you pay for applies here too.
Yeah, maybe. But if you really want to, it's like I've seen a blog post that I wanted to share on Twitter. It's Neil Patel who says why you should invest in marketing. And I think mentoring is the same because it will help you get better at your business, whether it's just translation or if it's marketing. So you will hopefully get more money. So why the person should not get some money too for helping you?
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. We have another question from one of our viewers. Crystal asks, what are your thoughts on the pros.com mentoring program? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I haven't tried it, so I can't say. Maybe if someone here has experience going through pros for mentoring, that would be great. Because I just looked, but as I said, the people there didn't meet all my criteria, I can say. There were people with the language pair I was looking for, but not the specialization. And to be honest, the specialization was the most important criteria for me before the language pair. So that's why I didn't go through pros.
I think, it's great that those communities for translators have mentorship programs. But I still believe it's much easier to just reach out directly to your colleagues, the ones who you think might be able to help you. Do you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with this. Especially if it's something you really want to do and they have the experience in it. That would be more beneficial for you than if you just ask someone randomly about something. It really have to be tailored to your needs, because otherwise it won't be, you will be disappointed, I think, if you just ask the first person that say yes for you.
Speaking of approaching your colleagues, how did you approach your mentor, and what would you advise to someone who has someone in mind, a person in mind, whom they would like to be mentored by, but they just don't know how to approach them?
Yeah, but for me it was easy because he explicitly said that he was doing mentoring on his page. So I just used the form and sent an email saying what I wanted to do. I wanted to specialize. I can talk today. I wanted to go to video game translation, and so since he was doing mentoring and he had the experience, that was great for me. And I asked if he had time for it, if he was still doing it, because sometimes you don't know, the web pages may not be updated. And I think I saw a blog post on another of his website where he said he was going on sabbatical. So that's why I asked him if he was still doing it, because that was just the year he was going on sabbatical. So yeah, and ask the person, and I think really be straightforward about saying what you want from them. What are your goals and why you are asking them to be your mentor. Not just go, I'd like to be your mentor because I like what you do or whatever. That's the same as applying for an agency or contacting a direct client. Just tell them what you want, what you expect from them, and where you want to go, and ask them if they are okay for it, and maybe schedule a call to see if you really get along with that person. Because if not, it's not useful for you to push forward if you don't get along with the person. And same for the mentor. If they feel that this person is just asking for references and maybe for work, easy work that you will send to them, that's not good for that person to be their mentor. Because a mentor is not someone that will send you work. It's someone that's here to help you. It's not an agency.
It looks like you have to do quite a lot of work even before you contact someone who would like to be your mentor, right? Would you say that you did something?
Well, I had this idea of mentor in my head some time ago. So I was just, I think, trying to find the courage to ask for help before. And I think you have to be, you don't have to be 100% sure about what you want to do, but you have to have a general idea of what you want to do, where you want to go, what are your goals with mentoring, and maybe talking with the person will help you refine it. It's like when you start and you want to specialize somewhere, but you don't know how, you don't know what. Start a bit, even if everyone tells you, you need to specialize, start a bit wider and then narrow it down until you find really what you want, what you like. So I think it works the same. And nothing is better than talking with the person and sharing ideas, even if this person does not end up to be your mentor. She will give you idea, maybe she can recommend someone else also. You never know.
Do you use any resources probably to refine your goals before you contacted the mentor, or was it just the sum of everything you had read before? Because I sometimes feel that I now get some ideas that are just the result of me reading some articles or blog posts for the past year and a half, and now it's taking some shape.
Yeah, that's a mix of everything. It's pen, paper, and what you can read on blog posts. I did a lot of research at the beginning when I started, because I had no job anyway, no work from clients. So I had time between applications to read stuff, and think it was 6 years between my BA degree and when I started as a freelancer. So I didn't know almost anything about translation, about what I was going into. So I really read a lot. And then, a lot of blog posts and we refined. SEO was an idea, but it's Tristan that pushed me forward to do this. He said, "Yeah, it's great. If you want to specialize in website localization, that's something you should think of." And it's true because I have an agency client that gave me free training about SEO recently because they have more demand on this. So yeah, that's something my mentor helped me to develop. Anything else? Because I think I lost track.
Sorry.
There is another question from one of our viewers. Anne-Sophie asks, do you know the Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs program? And she provides a link to it. We'll put it in the show notes. If you do, what do you think about it? Do you think it can be helpful for a translator?
Maybe. I don't really know. I would say, anyway, get a life before being a freelancer because you will learn a lot. Because I started to work at 16 and I had different experiences, even including counting people on trains. Very fun experience. And working with sheep too. I was quite good with a dog, gathering sheep around and everything. So, but every experience are something that tells you what you like, what you don't like, and maybe it could be a great experience. Why not? To get something and get into it, but I don't really know about it, so I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I think every experience is a great experience, even if it's negative. At least you're learning from it. And if there is some sort of a program for entrepreneurs, I would say just get on it if it's available for everyone, and especially if it's free. I don't know about Erasmus if it's free or not, but still there are plenty of programs for entrepreneurs, programs that are focused on networking or building your skills. There are a ton of free seminars if you're living in a big city, especially. For example, I know in Toronto there are a lot of groups for entrepreneurs, like-minded people who like building businesses, and you can meet a ton of interesting people and you can learn from their perspective. I think what also is great beside mentoring one-on-one is creating some sort of a mind group of sorts. I have a couple of friends here in Toronto. They are both entrepreneurs. One is a web developer, the other one is a chef and works in catering. And we all have absolutely different businesses. I'm a translator, they're doing something else, but every now and then we gather together and we just discuss our businesses. We talk, we share our experiences, we talk about our plans, what works for us, what doesn't, and then each and every one of us just gives us advice as a observer from the outside who doesn't know anything about your business. And sometimes it's very helpful. Not only it is helpful in a way that you actually talk to real people, but it also energizes you. It gives you more inspiration. And each and every time when we have these coffee breaks, I get back home and I'm so inspired and fired up. I'm ready to do a ton of work. So I think it's a very good alternative to one-on-one mentoring.
Yep.
What do you guys think?
It's great. I have a similar experience with the business incubator. It's called Collective Intelligence, I can say. It's all the people that are in the business incubator. We created a group of 8, I think, and 4 of them had question. They wanted to get answers too, and the other were there only to give their opinion, and that was very constructive anyway. And you can get a lot of ideas. You get perspective on another business and how they do things, and it can help you think about how you can do it, get ideas and do it differently, and everything you see everywhere, like think out of the box. So that's a good point. And it's actually something I wanted to do here in my town with the regional part of the Translator Association I'm part of. Wanted to gather them around because we all have different years of experience. So, and we can get ideas from each other and tips and everything. So yeah, that's kind of great alternative to mentoring. Being a group, working in a co-working space also is great. That's where I am, and I'm in touch with webmasters, web developers, photographers. I have contact with someone who works on big movies, and another contact who is a translator specialized in dubbing and voiceover. So you get to know very different people with different backgrounds, and you learn from their experience too, and that can help you also.
I also think that it's very important to not get caught up in our own little cozy translators world, but to get out sometimes and meet other people and other professionals from other industries. And from that point of view, such programs as Anne-Sophie mentions is probably a great thing. And taking part in those programs might help you learn something new. And it could also, when you learn from such a program that it's not targeted or geared towards translators, you will also learn some things and skills that are not part of other translators' portfolio, if I may put it so. And that will help you probably to stand out from the competition or stand out from your colleagues. And it can't be a bad thing. And you can also, who knows, you might also meet some make some great connections and probably even meet potential clients there. So I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, that's good for network. And they know you. So if they have a question about translation, even if it's not your language pair, they will ask you first. So it's always great to be the only one there. That's why it's important. On LinkedIn, I've read a lot of blog posts, and they all say, be the only translator in your group to stand out and provide other information. So that applies to real life with real people, so not only online.
So I think we covered a ton of topics today based on the questions and about mentoring and what can you expect from it. Would you like to sum up your overall experience with mentoring? Would you recommend mentoring, and what people can expect from it?
Yeah, so my experience was great. So yeah, I would definitely recommend mentoring because it really helps. And yeah, you have someone that really understands you. I think that's the most important part. And when I started with the business incubator, they didn't get this per word rate or something. It was all Chinese, like we say in French. They didn't understood this. And they tried to make me apply some method that actually did not fit with the translation world and that I wasn't comfortable with. And when I started this mentoring, that really made a difference. So I will recommend it, even if it's not a translator that is your mentor. Could be anything else. Could be marketing, and you could be for SEO and get in touch with SEO experts, for example. Could be anyone, even webmaster or something, as long as this person really helps you on a specific point that you're interested in. Yeah, that's great. So, and the benefits are great because you can start building a network. You can find maybe more opportunities that if you stay in your little corner, in your little bubble as a translator and alone in your home, because most of us work from home, not from an office. We don't all go to a co-working space. So we tend to be lonely. So having a mentor, it's like not being too lonely anymore. So that really helps, both for the networking part and also personally, because loneliness can be very tough sometimes. So yeah, that's it for me. if you have any more questions.
Looks like we don't have any more questions. Just a great suggestion from Hagen. Let's break the bubble.
Yes,
that's it. That's why the indie localization team exists too. It's because let's break the bubble, let's get more opportunities, and let's stand out.
It's this topic of breaking the bubble and joining our forces. It's quite a topic that is often mentioned on first Blabbing translators, now on Translators On Air. So I think it's a thing for translators. We're all a bit isolated, but we still want to get together and be together with other people, in spite of the fact that the majority of us claims that we're introverts. So
yeah.
That's
we are
a big
fake
lie.
introverts. That's it. Look, we are talking to I don't know how many people on camera. I never thought I would be doing this before.
Yes. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun talking to other people and exchanging your opinion with your peers and colleagues and learning from each other. And it doesn't even matter that maybe you're wrong, maybe you're right. It's all about sharing. And when you share, you feel better and you get something back. You learn something from people. So that's why we created this fun little talk show and do this every week. And it's a ton of fun. Just like I said, with my mind group of like-minded entrepreneurs, it energizes me as well. Each and every episode that we record gives me such a boost and of inspiration. So I'd like to thank everyone who is watching us. It still feels weird in our second season that people actually tune in to listen to us suffer through our thick Russian accents and watch this show. But I really appreciate everyone who is watching. So thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Yeah, thanks everyone. That's very cool.
Quite a lot of energy, and it's a pity that it's already 8 p.m. here at my end. So
we have people from all over the world, and I'm looking at the map right now. We have a lot of people from Europe and South America. So we are all over the world, and it's amazing.
It is.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Aurélie? Probably last piece of advice, or just...
I don't know. I think I've talked a lot. We need to wind down.
Yes.
I think we just shut down everything and log on my favorite game and do a dungeon or two just to relax. I think I would need this. But no, just don't be too shy. Go for
extra energy.
I will need this 2 hours or 3 hours something to relax. That's my own bubble. I just shut out everything and log on an online MMORPG game with a lot of people, but I'm alone anyway, so everyone has their tips. That's
Sounds
mine.
Fun.
It is.
Thank you for the great chat. You shared a lot of interesting things, and I will think about finding a mentor too, probably, or organizing mindfulness. What's
Mind
it called? Mind group, right?
Mind group.
Yeah.
Yes. It would be great. So thank you again to everyone who is watching us live. If you have, if you don't want to miss any other episodes, you can go to our website, which is at translatorsOnAir.com, and subscribe to our newsletter, which goes out twice a week. We will include the links mentioned in this episode in our show notes. And please don't forget to check out the website of our sponsors, which is at smartcat.ai. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful day or evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.